Good evening from Norway. I'm Lisbeth. So today I wanted to talk about going on vacation with our dogs. I didn't prepare a PowerPoint or anything. I just want to talk and share my own experience traveling with my dogs on holiday. Now, you are from many different countries. So this might be different in your country than in my country. So when it comes to vaccinations and what you need for traveling abroad, first point is you need to check that out yourself in your country with your authorities and the veterinarians and so on. I'm not going to go into that here on this Facebook Live, obviously, because I don't know the rules of all countries. I barely know the rules here in Norway. Okay, vacation with your dog. It's vacation time. A lot of us are bringing our dogs with us when we go on vacation. And personally, I like to do that too, because I don't like to leave my dogs to other people. I generally don't trust people. But if you do have a good dog sitter, of course, that's okay. And especially if you have a dog that is a bit fearful, or for some reason, maybe they don't like driving, or could be a lot of different things. If your dog doesn't appreciate going on a vacation with you, then he or she is better off being home with someone who's taking good care of them. The longest trip that I've taken with my dogs going on vacation was from the south to the north of Norway. My ex-husband, he's from the far north, the very far north of Norway. And we took a vacation to drive there. It took 3 days to drive. And then we took a boat to a small island, an hour with a small boat, not a ferry, just a private boat. And we stayed on that island for 2 weeks. It was absolutely lovely. No cars, almost no people. There were like 5 other people there. So that was a very long drive. And I had 5 dogs at the time, and I chose to take 3 of them with me. 2 of them were senior dogs, and I knew that they would not appreciate long days and even warm days here in Norway in the car. So they were better off staying with a very good friend of mine here in the south. So they did not come to our vacation. I took the 3 other dogs that I knew would appreciate driving and appreciate being in new places, because they too are experiencing a lot of new things when they're going on holiday, which is good for them. I always say that we should do more enriched environment, and going on vacation is certainly enriched environment, maybe even sometimes a bit overload of enriched environment. Again, that depends on your dog and what he or she is used to. So, of course, you need my first and best tip is actually to plan and to I think the best investment I've ever made is to buy, now I can't remember what it's called in English. Let me just think. I have my car is Caddy, an extra long one, the Volkswagen Caddy. So it's basically, it's perfect for dogs. It's not very tall, so it's easy for them to go in and out from the car. And in the back, I have, my computer is so slow, so I can't really, like a fence. This kind of a fence thing, open, so you can get air. A gate, a custom-made gate / fence that is in my car, in the back of my car, so I can open the whole boot of the car, or the back door, and leave it completely open, and it has a lock on the door to the actual fence, the gate, so that they can get fresh air. I'm not afraid of anyone stealing them because I can lock my car and the gate is locked, the fence is locked, but they still get fresh air, and they can, they can just look around and what's happening. So when we stop and we go and eat or something, and we take the dogs out from the car, go for a little walk, and then they go back into the car, they are very safe and cool in the car. So yeah, remember also that driving is tiring for dogs, not only for us, but maybe more so. I haven't been a dog, and I haven't been in the back where my dogs are, but I know for sure it's quite noisy in the back of the car, more so than in the front. Also, at least here in Norway, we have very bumpy roads. So all in all, you might have seen it already that your dog is more tired if you've been for a long car ride. So take that into account, that when you drive, and if you'd been on your own, you might be fine driving 8 or 10 hours by yourself and no problem, but maybe you should make the drives every day shorter to make sure that your dogs are enjoying it too. Some dogs, they don't drink when they're driving. I mean, I'm telling you this, that it's normal that they don't want any water when you're out driving, but it doesn't mean that they're not thirsty. If they're thirsty enough, they will drink, but some of my dogs have been more reluctant to drink when we are driving from one way, A to B. So on a long drive, I take that into account as well. So instead of an 8-hour drive, we would drive 5 hours and then spend the night instead of taking very long drives. Of course, we stop during those 5 hours as well. We stop several times to take the dogs out to go peeing and exploring and just having a little break from the noise in the car and the moving car, basically. So often breaks. This is also, of course, it depends on your dog. If you have a very young dog or a puppy, it has to pee more often than an adult dog. But keep in mind, don't forget to stop, to take small breaks or even longer breaks, because it's so easy to, at least me, when I drive, when you finally out there driving, you think, oh, another half an hour and then we stop, or another 20 minutes and then we stop. And you're just happy driving. Hours just, go by so quickly when you're driving the car. So take that into consideration. Stop more times than you would plan for, than fewer times, because it's better for the dog. And like I said, they will get a lot of enriched environment. So keep that in mind. If your dog is not used to a lot of enriched environment, this is quite overwhelming. Even for a dog that is used to it, it can be quite overwhelming. So they need a lot of rest. They need to rest. So don't plan for a lot of activities when you reach your destination that evening. Let them rest. Also, in the back of my car, I made a good investment, I think, for this very good, quite expensive mattresses for the dogs with memory foam. My dogs love it. So take breaks, and please don't stress. And the holiday time and vacation time are for a lot of people and families one of the most stressful times of the year, actually. And we know this every year. And I heard something about the divorce rate is always going up after the summer holidays and Christmas holidays, actually. That's what I've heard. I'm not an expert on that, but that's what I heard. So we know that vacations can be a lot of stress for the people, and of course, then also the four-legged, our best friends, the dogs. So you need to, I think you should take your dog into consideration when you're choosing where to go on holiday. Don't take it to fun fairs and big parks, where it's a lot of people and a lot of noise and, these kind of things. At least stay in the holiday house with the dog and let your husband or your wife or whoever go with the children to the park. Don't necessarily bring your dog there. If you have a dog that is fearful and this would be too much for the dog, I think you should change your vacation plans and go somewhere where it's more suitable for the dog. Rent a cottage somewhere or go camping somewhere, where there is less people and other dogs, if that is an issue. Here in Norway, people like walking in the mountains. And I refer to people because I'm not one of them that you will find walking in the mountains a lot. I blame it on being part Dutch. I'm half Dutch, so I like moving on flat surfaces. I don't like walking uphill that much, but a lot of Norwegians, they do. So if you go hiking, which is great, make sure that your dog is also fit for your hiking, because this is typical that we want to do everything during those 2 or 3 weeks in the summer that we don't do the rest of the year. So we walk and we get exhausted. And then imagine if your dog is not used to it. I heard horrible stories from my friends who are actually hiking in the mountains, and they met people with their young dogs, even puppies, going for really long hiking walks, which is not impressive for an untrained dog. And it's certainly not for a puppy that has to walk that far. Also, it might be a good idea to bring, like a first aid kit, maybe something for the stomach. If your dog, you need to bring whatever food he's used to eat. Changing your dog's diet during your holiday might not be the best time to do that if your dog is not used to eating a lot of different food. And well, this depends on where you go and what you do, but talk to a veterinarian. When me and my ex-husband went to the small island, an hour away from people, actually, by boat. We even had to find a way to get there by boat because there are no ferries. There were no way we could get to a veterinarian anytime soon if something happened. So we had pain killers and so on as well, some medication with us. So that's depends on where you go and what you do. Talk to a veterinarian about this. And that's it. Because I'm not going to tell you about the vaccinations. What I'm going to tell you is that make sure your dog has a valid passport and all the right vaccinations if you're going somewhere. Remember, it's going to be very, very, very hot in the car. Take breaks, bring fresh water, and take it easy. Have a nice and relaxing holiday. Short drives every day, shorter than you would like, maybe, and enjoy. Because if you're stressed, your dog will be stressed as well. Now, again, depending on where you're from, in Norway, we have a lot of ferries. Anything from 10 minutes to 5 hours. And they're part of the road, the main road. So you just have to take the ferries. So make sure to check if you can get your dog out of the car on the ferry, and where on the ferry the dog is supposed to be. Some ferries from Norway to Denmark and Sweden, for example, you are not allowed to bring your ferry up where the people are, but you have to put them in a special cage in a room, and you actually have to leave the room, which is not a ferry I would take, at all. So plan ahead. And a lot of hotels, you probably know this, but if you're a new dog owner, you might be surprised of how many hotels and cabins and places, at least in Northern Europe, that are not very dog friendly. This is a big warning if you're coming to Norway, but at least it's not very dog friendly, unfortunately. So there could be just a couple of hotel rooms or 1 or 2 cabins that are available for people with dogs, and you have to be prepared to pay more for them. And they would be more like, not totally renovated, probably not the best cabins, and you would pay more. But that's how it is. You need to plan and book ahead. But now I'm talking about my country, Norway. So you need to find out whatever is the system in your country and whatever country you are going to. Okay. So if you're going on holiday, have a great time, and please take care of your dog, and enjoy, relax. Okay, bye.